Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jade. I'm here to help you grow your online presence, multiply your streams of income and build profitable businesses. So I've switched up location again. I'm just keeping you all on your toes. I want to tell you that I've switched locations because I'm trying to be really diverse with like my backdrop and stuff. But in all honesty guys, my gallery wall, which you may have seen from my other videos, I'll put a photo here, it's not looking too good. It is basically various photos have been falling from the wall every other day for the past like 3 weeks. So that is why we are switching it up and we're doing it from this direction today. So before we get to the video, if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, you're gonna wanna make sure that you do so, especially now, because today's video is going to be part of a new series that I'm doing. So every single month, I'm going to sit down with you guys and I'm gonna take you through my analytics for YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram from the previous month. The reason why I wanna do this with you is one, because you guys asked me for it, and it's my reason for doing anything that I basically do on this channel. And two, because I actually switch up my strategies and different tactics on a regular basis. And I do this so that I can trial things out and share them with you. But this is the best and most realistic way for me to actually share with you in real time what I've been trying, what's been working and what hasn't. Because let's face it, things change all the time on social media, the tactics change, the methods change. And this way, I'll be able to actually keep you up to date with what's working and what's not in regards to my channel. So let's just get straight to it. Okay, so I've got my laptop. Let's start with YouTube, right? So let's go behind the scenes into my YouTube studio. Now, the first thing I want to tell you about my YouTube channel and what's been going on with it and what's going to be going on with it in the future is that I've been selected to be part of YouTube Black Voices Creator Class of 2022. And I'm going to be doing a whole video on this, showing you the billboard that I was on and all these really exciting things. But essentially what it means is that I am going to get help directly from YouTube in the form of a YouTube partner manager, as well as things like funding and stuff like that to help me and my fellow Black creators grow on the platform. So it's very exciting. And I've had a meeting with my partner manager already, and she actually showed me some stuff on my analytics, which I'm going to show you today, which I thought was very interesting, right? So this is behind the scenes. The first thing I want to flag is that you're going to see a lot of green arrows like pointing up, right? This means that my channel is on the up, but it does not mean that I have produced exceptionally good content this month. The reason why my channel is on an up is because of my niche and because of seasonality, right? So December, my niche, doesn't necessarily dip, but it's not a niche which sees a spike that a lot of other niches see around the holidays and in December. My niche spikes in January, because it's the start of the year. It's when everyone's like, okay, I'm gonna take my content creator career to the next level. I'm gonna really go in on my business. So they're searching for my type of content, right? So regardless of what I was gonna post this month, my channel was gonna do well this month. So it's always important that you think about context and seasonality when you're looking at your analytics. So this is the behind the scenes. And as I said, there are a lot of arrows going on here. So my channel had 200,000 views, 20,000 watch hours. I gained 6,000 subscribers, which is really good for me because I normally average out about 4,000 to 5,000 subscribers per month. So that was really great. And I earned an estimated revenue of £2,450, which in dollars is $3,331, right? So very, very pleased with that. It's potentially the most I've ever made. No, it's not the most I've ever made, but it's very close. In October last year, I made 2,664. And in July last year, I made 2,469. So it's very similar to those two. It's not that much less. So it was a very good month for me. Now, why was this month so good and why was I able to achieve these kind of figures and revenue numbers that I was able to achieve? So when we scroll down, you're going to see my top videos for this period. And I'm going to literally put down the entire success of my channel this month to this lovely video. This video is my blow up in 2022, how to start a successful YouTube channel video, right? I released this on December the 12th. And interestingly, when this video was released, it was one of my worst performing videos. So as you may or may not know, when you go onto your dashboard, you see this beautiful little square here, which tells you how your most recent video is performing. Now, whilst I see the value in having this bit of information told to you, it's really important that you think about the context and you look at the bigger picture when you see this. So I could look at this and think, oh my God, that video I've just posted is tanking, right? Because it's currently ranking 8th out of the 10 most recent videos that I uploaded based on the views. Now, I'm not concerned by that or the fact that all of these are down, my click-through rate, my view duration, anything like that, because I know the nature of the video was a kind of video that wasn't going to get me trending or get me loads of views straight away. It was the kind of video that I knew that if I done the right SEO, then in the future it might get me some views, right? So I'm aware of the context of that, which means I'm not too concerned by this ranking 8th. And when I uploaded my blow up on YouTube video, it was like 9th or 10th. it was way down there. And I remember thinking, it's fine. My YouTube videos, they don't do as well as my Instagram content. It's totally fine. It's a long game video. I done great SEO. I think it's going to blow up in the long run, right? And I was correct, because if I go back to my analytics, this video accumulated 54,000 views in the month of January. That is a lot. And if I click on this video and go to analytics, here we are, you can actually see the performance of this video in terms of views versus the performance of my normal videos. So can you see that little gray line on the bottom down there, right? So what this is basically saying, if we stop here and look after the first 31 days, so about a month, right? So within the first 31 days of this video's lifespan, it accumulated 53,000 views. Now, the typical amount of views that a video gets within this time for me is between 6.5 and 9.9 thousand views. So this is way above average. But if we go back to when this video was first launched, you'll see here, first 2 days, it had 2,800 views. And if you look at the typical amount of views that I normally get within the first 2 days of me posting a video, 2.7 thousand and 4.3, which means this video was at the bottom end of that scale. It was not performing as well as it could have been performing when you compare it to my other videos within its first 2 days. And it continued that trend for a while. And then suddenly around 26th or 27th of December, it just started to take off. Like, look at this. And the reason for that is my SEO, because if you can look at the right here, you can see the top traffic sources. 61% of the traffic for that video was my search. So it had good SEO. But more than that, guys, I'm going to say the same word that I was saying earlier. It's the seasonality of it. This video done well in search because I put the right keywords in the right place. I've got a video where I talk about that in a little bit more detail. I'll link to it up here. That's one of the reasons why the video did well. However, one of the biggest reasons why this video did well is because people were searching for content what's going to help them start a YouTube channel in 2022 at the end of 2021, right? That's what people were doing, and they continued doing that, especially during the first few weeks of the year. It was the right video for me to release at the right time. If I released this video in August last year, it probably wouldn't have seen the same results or the same level of success. So that is the main video which really carried my channel. In fact, it was responsible for about half of my subscribers that 1 month, right? And look at it, got 7.1 thousand watch hours, and my whole channel got 20,000 in 1 month. So that is a huge portion down to that one video when you think about the fact that I've got, I don't know, 80 videos already on my channel. But that many of those watch hours came from this one video. So that video pretty much carried my whole channel. It's because of the topic, it's because of the search, and also, if I'm gonna be honest, it's a good video. I'll link to it up here and I'll put it in the description, but it's a good video, right? It took a lot of time, took a lot of effort. People found it very useful. They found it valuable, which meant they were watching it for a while. My kind of average view duration is pretty steady. That line doesn't drop too much, which is a good sign. And that's why that video performed so well for me on my channel. Okay, so if we head on the reach tab and have a look at how I'm doing in the month of January in terms of my reach, my impressions were up 3.5 million. My click-through rate was down. That is gonna happen when your impressions go up. So the more people who are seeing your videos, so the more impressions your videos are getting, the less likely it is for your click-through rate to remain the same. For it to remain the same would mean that far more people would have to be clicking on your content, right? So it's completely normal for your click-through rate to drop. However, one thing that I've learned from being part of YouTube Black Voices creator class is that the ideal click-through rate is about 6%. So I'm going to be trying my best to get that up to 6% over the next few weeks / months. My views were up, my unique viewers were up, which is great. If we scroll down, you can see my main source of traffic. What's interesting, again, search is up there. It's not usually number 1, it's usually number 3 for me, but that is purely down to that one video that I already showed you. On the right, you can see the playlist. So this is interesting because I've obviously been added to a YouTube Black Voices playlist, and that was only launched 1 week ago. So I'm getting quite a lot of traffic from that playlist as well, which is exciting to see what happens with that. And you can also see the search terms. Now, this is very interesting because look at the search terms for my channel in January. And do you know what? I'll get another month up so you can see by comparison. But all of these, so how to start a YouTube channel, starting a YouTube channel, how to create a YouTube channel, my name, and then social media marketing. That is the first time I've ever seen that list and it doesn't have at least one Instagram related search term in there. Let's compare that to into like December. And look how different it is in December. So in December, I've got how to start a YouTube channels there, and then it's Instagram update, Instagram new update, and then it's starting a YouTube channel. And I bet if I went even further, there wouldn't be anything to do with YouTube in those search terms. So it's interesting. My channel's changing a bit. I feel like the algorithm is starting to recognize me as hopefully a credible teacher for YouTube content as well as Instagram content. Obviously, I create more content outside of that. I do a lot more entrepreneurial and like marketing stuff, but let's be real, my most popular content is about Instagram. So if I'm able to get to a point where my YouTube content is receiving as many views and engagement as my Instagram content, that would be amazing for my channel. Now, the final thing I want to show you in regards to how my channel performed in the month of January 2022 is a bit of information around my audience, right? So if we click on the audience tab, you can see my returning viewers are up, my unique viewers are up, and my subscribers were up for this month as well, although there's a bit of a gap there, but my subscribers were up as well. Now, one thing that I've realized, and this is something again I learned through me being part of YouTube Black Voices, I have a bit of a problem when it comes to converting viewers. Now, one way you can look into this and see if you've got the same problem is when you look at this section where it says watch time from subscribers. 25% of my watch time is coming from people who are subscribed to my channel. 74%, or more like 75%, are coming from people who are not subscribed. And that was something that my partner manager also told me. She was like, look, hun, your channel is performing well, but in terms of the views that my content is getting, I should be growing quicker, which might sound weird to some people because this is good growth. Like 6,000 subscribers in a month is incredible. And I know that's good growth, which means that I've potentially become a bit complacent because I see that I'm growing by 3,000 to 6,000 every month, and I see that and I'm like, great, that's healthy. When actually I'm not looking at my growth in comparison to the amount of views and watch hours I'm getting. So what I've learned from that, and something that I'm going to try out next month, is being a lot more upfront with asking people to subscribe to my channel. I don't actually do that much. You might have noticed that I did that at the start of this video. I don't do that much. And if you're someone watching this right now and you're thinking, yeah, this girl is tolerable and she's providing something what's interesting, or if you want to see how all of these tactics pan out next month and what my analytics look like next month, then please subscribe to my channel. I release content every single week. Okay, should we move on to Instagram? Okay, so my Instagram analytics is going to be tricky, and people have asked me to do a tutorial of Instagram analytics for a while, and the main reason why I've not done that yet is because my analytics is full of bugs and errors. I'm not the only person who has this. I've had clients in the past who has the same thing, but there are errors with my analytics, and I will show you what I mean. So I'm going to show you what I'm looking at over here. When you go onto my profile, you click on Insights, you will see that it's giving me an overview of my insights, right? So it's showing me my accounts reached, accounts engaged, and total followers for the past 7 days. I'm going to update that so that we're looking at January, right? So update. So the bits what are incorrect here that I'm aware of, there might be more stuff that's incorrect. Accounts reached, and this is a common problem that people have. So the reason why this is incorrect is because it's currently saying that I reached 24,000 people in the month of January. However, when you go on my Reels section and you click on my Reels, just my Reels for the sake of this experiment, if you go on my Reels for my last 30 days, if you change this to reach, so right now we're looking at all of my Reels for my last 30 days, and you add up the top 3 Reels, right? So these are the Reels which have reached the most people. If you add that up, that's already more than 24,000 in terms of reach, and that's not including any of these other Reels or any of my static posts. So as you can see, the reach number there is not correct, which is why I've got some issues with Instagram analytics. Me and Instagram analytics have fallen out. Regardless of that, there's definitely still some information that I have taken from my analytics from the month of January, which I'm going to use to inform my plan of February. So the first thing I want to talk about is growth, because this is something that I think a lot of people are hopefully going to find a bit reassuring. So if we look at how many followers I gained in the month of Jan, I gained 2,022 followers. I also lost 626 followers, which means that I averaged out at gaining 1,396 followers. Now, that's a good amount. That is more than what I gained in December. However, when we talk about context and seasonality, in the month of December, I was pretty chill with my Instagram because, you know, Christmas. So I was pretty chill with my Instagram and with my content, whereas Jan, I was the complete opposite. I was super on it and I was producing a lot of content. So we're obviously going to see a lot of increases in all of the different metrics for the month of January when it comes to my channel. But as you can see, on average, I am gaining around 40-ish followers overall. So that's taking into account how many people have unfollowed and how many people have followed. There are a few spikes here. So here, this spike was due to me appearing on a podcast episode, which I'll put a link to in my description. But because I appeared on that podcast episode, I got some promo, which meant that my followers spiked up a bit. And outside of this, my other reasons for the spikes are just when I've produced a reel that's done quite well, because we all know how good reels are at helping you grow. Another thing I want to point out about January and how my content performed is my reels. So I posted a lot more reels in January, and I'm going to be posting a lot more reels in February too. One of the reasons for this is because I'm now on TikTok, which means I'm creating more of this style of content. So it's a lot easier for me to produce reels. Another reason is because I've gotten into a really good flow with my video editor, where he produces these reels, which are basically cut up versions of these videos for me. So I'll show you one now. What you can do, what's going to really help you level up your content on Instagram in 2022 is to start some conversations. So that's what that one looks like. I was hesitant to trial this type of format because traditionally, if you're creating content which is encouraging people to come off of Instagram to watch your content on another platform, traditionally that type of content isn't going to perform well. But if we go to my Reels tab and we scroll down, you'll actually notice that these videos have performed pretty well. Like, they're not reaching the same amount of people as, say, some of my other content is. So say some of this video, this reel, for example, where it's a lot more of my face and I'm not, you know, suggesting that people leave the platform. But in terms of plays, it's receiving a decent amount of plays when you compare it to how many followers I have. So 13,000 followers and receiving an average of like 5,000 plays for a standard reel isn't too bad, right? So that's one thing that I've noticed and I'm going to continue doing. Another thing that I clocked, which was actually a really recent thing, so technically it was February, but I'm going to include it in this review, is yesterday I posted 2 posts in one day. The reason why I did that is because I didn't post the day before because there was something going on in my personal life, which meant that I had to come off social media. And I have a backlog of content now because I'm producing so much content across all these platforms, and because I've gotten really good at repurposing it, I now actually have a lot of content to get out, which is a good problem to have. But it meant that I just felt like I didn't want to be one day behind on my schedule. So I thought, okay, I'm going to drop 2 posts in one day. Even though I've tried this before and it's not performed well for me, I thought I'm going to give it a go again, test it and see what happens. Let me tell you, the results were dire. So this is a reel that I posted yesterday. It got 144 likes or 155 likes. Now, it's worth saying that at the minute I'm just looking at likes, when realistically, even though I only had 144 likes, maybe I ended up getting, you know, 20 clicks to my website, in which case that post would have been successful. But for the purpose of this, I just want to talk about vanity metrics and, you know, looking at things like likes. So that's 145 likes. And then the second post, what I posted that evening, 194 likes. If you're wondering, what does that mean? Is that not a lot? Is that not good? On average, my content, and I'll scroll through my content now so you can have a look. On average, my content is normally going to be racking up about 500, maybe 600 likes per post, sometimes 700, maybe sometimes 9, but we're looking at probably around, you know, 600 likes per post. So for me to have gotten such low engagement on 2 posts in a row, those 2 posts are potentially the worst performing posts that I've ever had on my channel. And I really do believe that the reason why they perform so well is because I released both in one day. I spread them out by about 7 hours, but apparently 7 hours was not enough. So I wanted to share that with you guys. As always, test it for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it, but that is a real life example of how posting multiple times in one day does not always work for everyone. Okay, so before I tell you about my TikTok journey, like some of you may or may not know, I'm brand new to TikTok, so this section of the video is gonna be very interesting. I would be remiss not to mention the fact that I've got a bunch of freebies, which are gonna be super helpful for anyone watching this video who's trying to grow online, multiply their streams of income, any of that stuff. I've got masterclasses, I've got workbooks, they're all free, and the links to all of them are in the description bar below. So let's talk about TikTok. I never thought I'd be on TikTok. I thought I was too old for TikTok, and I thought that if I wasn't dancing, that I would not be welcome there. However, I've learned that there are so many different sub niches on the platform, and there's such a huge like educational community over there that I was actually like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a go. And so I did. I posted my first ever TikTok on the 5th of January. That's right, guys. I was supposed to start on the 1st and I was 5 days late. But you know, Christmas. So let's have a look at how far I've come. So I currently have 1,566 followers on TikTok, which I'm very proud of, and I'll tell you why. When I started my TikTok, I got around 200, 250 followers from you guys. So from my lovely existing audience, people who heard that I was starting a TikTok and wanted to come over and support, you guys did so, and that meant that I had a couple hundred people on my channel already. Now, I would say I maybe have 3 people following me who's my friend. Like, I don't have many, you know, when you get to a certain age, you don't end up having that many friends who are active on TikTok. So whilst I might have a bunch of friends who have TikTok accounts, they have those accounts where there's like no profile photo and their username is like user_128569G. You know, like they don't use TikTok regularly, they just use it to browse, which meant that I didn't have the benefit of having like 100 people who I already knew and who I was friends with follow me over to that account. I didn't have that. But of course I did have an existing audience, which we cannot ignore. And that is the reason why I was able to get a couple hundred people following my channel before I even released my first TikTok video. Now, another reason why I'm super, super proud of this growth is because outside of that 200 to 300 people from my existing audience, I'm willing to bet that almost everyone else who now follows me on TikTok found me on TikTok. And the reason why I think this is because I had a couple of videos which didn't go viral, but they took off, they got a lot of reach. I've got one that's currently on 43,000 views, which is this one. And then I have another video which is currently on 16,000 views, which is this one, right? I have a few other videos amongst that group what have like 2,000 views, 1,000 views, etc. But those are my 2 most successful videos. And if we go to my analytics and have a look at my follower count for the past month, you can see that there's specific times where my follower count jumped. So here it jumped by 264. And then it jumped again here, and then around here it jumped by 145. So these jumps correspond to when I shared those 2 videos which performed really well, right? It was around that time where my channel started to jump. So about 1,300 of my followers have come as a result of those 2 videos doing well, okay? Another thing what backs up that hypothesis is that I have received so many messages from people on Instagram saying that they found me on TikTok, which is really blowing my mind because I have 50,000 YouTube subscribers and 1,500 TikTok followers. Yet I have received so many messages from people being like, hey, I found you on TikTok and now I follow you on Instagram. It's just blowing my mind how quickly TikTok is moving that needle for me. Like it took about 6 months for me to get that kind of traction from YouTube, right? So that's really, really interesting. Now, a couple of things what worked really, really well for me this month on TikTok. The first was following like TikTok gurus. There are a lot of them. Literally, if you just search TikTok tips, like that's hard to say, isn't it? TikTok tips. Actually, it's quite fun to say. TikTok tips. Anyway, if you just search TikTok tips on TikTok as a hashtag or as a search function, you're going to find a lot of content from various TikTok gurus. Follow them. One of the most valuable pieces of content that they share is when they share information on what songs are trending. I would follow these TikTok gurus. I would save any songs that they were saying were trending and I would use them in my next post, right? I used sound and songs in every single one of my TikTok videos. I don't do that for my reels because a lot of my reels I'm just talking to the camera, but on TikTok, I did do that. And I would reduce the sound on my TikToks all the way down to like 5% or something so that you can only just about hear the music in the background, but you mostly hear my voice. And what that does is it allows me to rank under that trending audios content, right? So I've still used that trending audio, even if I've not done the challenge that everyone's doing or the dance move that everyone's doing, even if that audio isn't super loud and isn't the main audio, it doesn't matter because I've still used it, which means that TikTok has registered my content as using trending audio, which really helps the performance of my videos. Another thing that worked really well for me on TikTok this month was producing content which was basically just videos with loads of text over the front. So I'm going to put an example here. This is a video that I've just uploaded, right? So it talks about how I went to 0 to 40,000 YouTube subscribers in 1 year, right? And I just list a bunch of tips. Now this text has been put over a general video of me recording YouTube content, but I also do that with loads of other videos. So like, here, it's just some tips and text over a slow-mo video that I took in the park, another slow-mo video that I took in the park. I mean, here's one from a video that I took in Croatia. Like I'm literally going through my archives. This is from Barbados. I'm going through my archives. I'm finding plain videos and backdrops which don't distract from the text on the screen too much. And I'm just writing a bunch of tips on the screen. And what that means is that it's super easy for me to keep up with the demand of the amount of content that TikTok requires. I'm currently posting between 1 to 3 TikToks every single day, which is so much, right? I'm able to keep up with that demand because those types of videos are super quick to make. They take me like 10 minutes to make. Like they're so easy. So if anyone is in education niche or if anyone is in a niche where they feel like they can do similar types of content, I encourage you to do so because those types of content actually have been some of my best performing videos, which is wild because they take no time at all. So the main thing that I've learned on my first ever month from TikTok is that it's not actually as difficult or as time consuming as people think. So yes, TikTok's algorithm is insatiable when it comes to how much content it wants. It literally wants you to be posting between 3 to 5 TikToks a day, realistically, right? Which is way too much for even me to keep up with. But it wants you to post so much content, and that could be off-putting to some people. The reason why I think people find that off-putting is because they imagine having to produce 3 to 5 reels every day. Reels are a different ballpark though. Reels are a lot more edited, they're a lot more curated, the production is a lot higher. TikTok is a lot more raw, it's a lot more authentic, and it doesn't require anywhere near as much time or as much skill, depending on your niche, to create content for the platform. Not only that, but you can only use 150 characters for your captions, which means that your captions are a few words long and you've got about 5 hashtags in there. That massively takes the strain off of coming up with really engaging Instagram captions that we have to do on a daily basis. You don't have to think about that as much for TikTok, so it's far easier to produce a lot of content at once. The final thing that actually makes having a TikTok a lot more easier to manage than you think is how low maintenance its features are. Like, TikTok does not have a stories function. TikTok does not require you to have this beautifully cohesive, visually appearing grid. It doesn't need any of that. It literally, all it has is its videos that it wants you to upload on a very regular basis, and also the ability for you to go live. Now, I know it also has DM features, but as far as I'm aware, those are only available to people who are actually following each other. And I really hope that it stays that way, not just in terms of DMs, but in terms of stories and all these other features, because if it does start to branch out and really diversify in terms of its features, it's going to become a lot harder to manage and it's going to become like a beast. But at the moment, trust me when I say it's not as difficult to be consistent on TikTok as you think. So if you're considering it, give it a go. Okay, so that's it. I hope you found it useful. If you watched this entire thing, please let me know in the comments, because I love to hear from you guys. Like, you guys are the real OGs on my channel. And I hope you found it useful. If you did, then make sure you subscribe so that you can watch my February edition of this new series, and you can see how my channel has progressed in the month of February. So if you found this content useful, then be sure to stick around and potentially watch this video. It's all about the top mistakes that I believe content creators are making this year. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I can't wait to see you in my next video.